I need a fire extinguisher. I got to put out the fire. There's a fire in my body. I know why. Well, welcome back to Carnivore, Scott. And what I hope is the common sense carnivore and my journey on this effort to return to the good health I had in my youth. The health that allowed me to run and jump and play and do things all day long and not be so overly concerned about being able to walk the next day. Speaking of being able to walk the next day, in this journey, I have made some discoveries. And one would hope that this effort that we all put in would yield to results that would find us moving closer to our desired state and away from a state of disease or just uncomfortableness. So, in that manner, yesterday I decided to make up a meal, and the wife and I were cooking. And she's not on carnivore way. She's very keto. Sometimes a little less. Sometimes almost carnivore. So we'll put her right there in the middle of keto. All right. But I'm a proclaimed and advocate of carnivorous type eating. I'm going to eat meat. Well, anyway, we're making dinner. And in doing so, I'm having some chicken. Now, I know chicken isn't the most carnivore meal you can have, but it's what I had, and it was chicken thighs. Now, I didn't have the skin on it, but again, it's what I had. It was leftovers. So, Mama had been real nice. I call my wife Mama sometimes, okay? My wife had cooked the chicken up for me the previous day. I ate a little then, and then I'm finishing off some more. And now she has it out, and she's got it all prepped up in a pan, and she's cooking in butter in a pan for me. Yes, she loves me. And so I said, okay, I'm looking at the pan of chicken, and I'm thinking to myself, I know I need to eat something. I know I need to have prioritizing that their protein. And I know that, well, sometimes beggars can't be choosers. So chicken it is. Chicken thighs it is. It's cut up in the pan. It's going great. I said, but I want something more, and I want to really increase the fat. Because one of my concerns is I'm going to be eating way too much protein. And I could be getting some neoglucogenesis, maybe not. But my real big focus of late is what is my insulin level? What is my pancreas doing? And if you remember my recent video about the pancreas and about me giving up artificial sweeteners, because once your mouth gets an artificial sweetener in it, it already is sending signals down to your pancreas to let out some insulin. And obviously, the insulin is what I'm trying to keep at bay. I'm not trying to get rid of it. I'm just not needing to stimulate it. And I was doing it constantly because before yesterday, I didn't use this sippy cup. I used my coffee cup or my tea cup. And I always had saccharin in it. Nice and sweet saccharin. And I thought I was doing myself some favors. So a little sippy sippy, a little sippy sippy. And little that I recognize, or I refused to recognize, that I was just bumping my insulin up all along the way. Now, my insulin's not bad. My insulin, the last time it was measured, was 9.5. Dr. Berry would say, you need to have your insulin in the single digits. I'm there. But closer to 7, not closer to 10. And I'm fighting a fatty liver. I don't have a bathing suit liver. My liver is kind of more like John Candy of livers. So I want to do something about that, and that means eliminating and mitigating and minimizing as much as I can everything that causes the metabolizing of substrate that yields lipids that are left in my liver. Lipid liver, we don't want that. Anyhow, so always having that saccharin, always bumping up my insulin. I also noticed for some reason, that my blood glucose was staying pretty high. Well, like not high, but high for me at about 103 to 110, 120 sometimes. And I've been eating, but not recently. I stopped the saccharin yesterday, and I immediately started getting readings where my glucose was lower and my ketones were correspondingly higher. And that means my body is having the opportunity to metabolize the excess stored fat in my liver, therefore taking me from a John Candy maybe down to something a little more manageable. Okay. I'm not there yet. I know that. But I have noticed a lot of differences in the last 24 hours. So back to the story. I know. Amazing. But we can do it. And we will. Here we go. If you recall, we were looking at a pan of cut up chicken thighs that my wife had so graciously made for me. And I'm looking at that going, that's a lot of meat. It's a lot of protein. There's not a lot of butter or fat in there. What am I going to do? I know what I'll do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find some more fatty material to put in it, right? So what did I decide to use? I decided to use some a DiGiorno bag sliced cheese. I know, not the best. Got a barcode. I know. But cheese was never really bothered me. Well, and don't let me forget the sour cream. Oh, I love me some sour cream. So I got the cheese out and put it in the bottom of my bowl. I put the tablespoon to 3 of sour cream in the bowl, right? And then I pulled the chicken out of the pan, blazing hot, put it in there, and I poured a little bit of beef fat. My wife saved some of the drippings for me, and I put that over it with a tablespoon of butter. So it's nice and hot, and I'm cutting up the chicken and mushing it all in. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it tasted pretty doggone good. So we go, we sit down, we eat, and we're having our dinner, and I'm enjoying my food, and everything's wonderful. Wonderful. Pop up, decide to go do the dishes. Me and the missus, we're at the kitchen sink doing the dishes, getting that knocked out, cleaning up after dinner, right? Well, I have some chores to do. And so I run outside to do a chore, and I come back from doing the chore, and the chore was like walk around the house. I was spraying for, insect repellent, right? Keeping the bugs out of the house. Well, when you live down south, you got to do that. Anyhow, well, I think you probably do it anywhere. So I did my chore, come back in the house, and I'm like, ow, my knee hurts. Now I've got what they call a Baker's cyst behind my kneecap on my right knee. I get a little hitch in my giddy up. But that hurt. And as I stood there and I talked to my wife, the pain was just shooting up. And I went from a pain of onesie, twosies, not so much, just noticeable to I'm sitting down now and I'm looking for some Tylenol and an ice bag. I'm like, ow. It was getting to be excruciating. And I was like, what in the Sam Hill did I do? And slowly, as the flames were rising up in my body, I said, my knee is inflamed. Riddle me this. What did I eat? Could it have been the chicken? Could have been, but I've eaten chicken before. I said, you know what? I bet you it was the sour cream and or cheese, the dairy. I said, you gotta be kidding me. What are you talking about, Willis? What you talking about? And there you go. I said, well, if it's inflammation from eating the food, we went out, we did a little walk, we did a little bit more in the house area, got some things done. I kept moving just a little bit. Very, light stuff. Nearly sedentary. But anyway, a little bit of movement. And I would say about 2 hours later, it was much better. By the time I went to bed, most of that inflammation in my knee was much better. I could bend it again and all that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and say that it was the sour cream. And then to add insult to injury. Yeah. Middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Boogers came to visit. Yes, he did. And I don't mean to be offensive, but the snot was flowing. And it shouldn't be flowing because I take a Zyrtec every night before going to bed. I'm an asthmatic. I got to watch out for this stuff. So I'm like, what is going on? The dairy. And you know what I think? Well, I think a lot of things, but what I think is, as I go and take more and more out of my diet, and as I start to get a little healthier, and you remember, just the day before yesterday, I started without the saccharin, right? So now my glucose is dropping, my ketones are rising, ketosis is going on, and I think as it's spinning up, there's a little bit of a wobble, and I'm noticing it. I think before I didn't notice it because I had so many things. There was a global fire going on in me. The fire was everywhere. And now, as my body gets more and more healthy, the little pockets are still there. And that pocket's where there's been injury. So I've injured that knee before. I sure do hope it doesn't happen to my back. I have wrecked my back. But the point is, I think I can directly, as an N of 1, attribute the acute onset of inflammation on fire to my knee, to what I ate. And I'm like, I'm staying away from it. It's a no mas, no mas. Not going to play that game anymore. My life, an elimination diet. There, see, I pulled it out. I got it. An elimination diet. That elimination diet I've been doing, I got rid of what I like to call the silly carbs, the sugars. They're gone. See ya. And then I got rid of like the other carbs. You know what I mean? Bread, pasta, rice, noodles. And then there's those aren't carbs, those are vegetables. But I got rid of those too. No broccoli, no lettuce, no. I love Brussels sprouts, but no Brussels sprouts, no cabbage. I'm going to have to rethink that cabbage one, I think. I got everything out. So carbs, I get the carbs when I eat organ meat and when I eat eggs. Those are my carbs. Oh, and that little bit of dairy. But now that's gone too. Avec. It's all gone. What does this mean? I think I'm accelerating the healing process. And the missus even said, yeah, you're losing weight. And I'm like on the scale going, the needle's not saying I'm losing weight. But if my wife says I look like I'm losing weight, if my clothes say I'm losing weight, I know what's happening. I'm repositioning. I may be revolumizing old muscles. The wife was asking me, have you been exercising? No. Well, I do have a little 30-pound strap over there that I do the little curlies with, but I'm not really exercising. But she's like, yeah, I can see. And I'm like, I don't really care what the number on the scale is, as long as I'm making good progress in visual things and in how I feel. If I feel good, if I feel strong, if my clothes are starting to hang on me and be a little baggy, I really don't care what the number is. Also, the wife went out and bought some clothes the other day. Oh, joy, oh, joy, oh, joy, oh, joy, oh, joy. Said no man almost ever. But anyway, when you're big like I am, if you're a big person, for me, I really don't want people buying me clothes. It's embarrassing when you put it on. It's like, bye, it's not gonna work. It's embarrassing. Sorry, but when the buttons are doing that, if I got to get new clothes, I'll go get them, but I don't want to. I'm reluctant. She came home with some nice shirts. She was thinking about me. She loves me. They're just 2XLTs. Have to have the tall. A very long torso, so I have to have the talls. And I was like, oh no, there you go, buying me clothes. No, they look good, I liked them. Buying me clothes, and you got them small. And I was getting ready to go out and do something last night, and she was like, you're not wearing your shirt? Have you tried your shirts on? I was like, no. Well, I tried it on, came back out, and I was like, well, what do you know? The 2XLTs fit. They fit pretty nice. I was like, money. So what am I going to do? You know, I'm not going to eat the dairy. I'm going to keep on with this elimination diet. So much better when you say elimination diet. You don't say carnivore, you're safe. You know, you can eat a whole pizza, drink a liter of soda, eat a half dozen cookies with your coffee. That's okay. Have yourself a big slice of apple pie. I'll have yourself another slice of apple pie. Have yourself a pizza there, young man. Get yourself some pizza. But say you don't eat that stuff and you're eating meat and you're like, you know, well, we all know you're classified weird. Well, anyway, staying with the meat, staying true, gotten rid of even the saccharin now. The biomarkers are starting to show things. And you know what else I noticed too? I actually think I'm getting gastric emptying. Like 2 hours after a meal, I'm like, my tummy is like saying something. I'm not hungry, but I never felt that before. I'm thinking they say, and what I used to believe and to be the only truth, the limit of truth, was that artificial sweeteners messed with your gut biome. Your gut biome. Look, I don't know. It's a gnarly place in there, you know. I can attest by what exits. It's a kind of a gnarly place in there, right? I'm not mucking with that. But if they said the bad sugar, the fake sugars we're mucking with, I'm like, well, I don't know. Still bad. So how bad could it be if it's still bad? You know what I mean? But anyhow, but I knew that to be the case, or academically. I've stopped with the saccharin. I think my gut is responding already. I don't know how to say it otherwise, but it is. So things are kind of coming up all roses, so to speak. It's spring. Spring is busting out all over. Yeah, you know, break out into some spontaneous theater song. Anyhow, all I can do is, as an N of one, describe what's going on for me. I was on fire. I was in hurting status. And that subsided. I can attribute it to some dairy products. I'm eliminating the dairy products. Going to keep on with what's working. I am trying to incorporate more tallow and not all butter. Now, I like butter. Don't get me wrong. But maybe there's a threshold where once your body is used to some fats, you can get better fats. So I think tallow is probably a better fat. So I'm doing that. And the fire has subsided. We'll keep that out of the way. We'll keep losing weight. And, you know, I'm going to do a video here pretty soon about another thing. Can't quite do it yet. But I've had that fungus under the toenail. I can't tell you how long I've had that. And I have been through treatment after treatment after treatment, except for the 1 year antibiotic treatment. That's a step too far. And one of my toes is almost completely cleared up. The other one is starting to show hope and signs. But I'm amazed. And I've taken some pictures along the way, and we're not going to talk about that now. That's kind of not pleasant. But I hear people all the time in their carnivore journey talking about, oh, this got better, and oh, that got better, and so many things were getting better. and like a country western song being played backwards, you know. Get your house back, you get your spouse back, your dog comes home, you get your job back, right? Well, for me, that's what doing this carnivore, no carb life, that's what this is kind of like. I'm getting things back. Mental clarity, even the wife was amazed. I was remembering people's names, and she's, for the last 2 years, she's had, no, okay, 8 years. She's had to do a lot of remembering for me for people's names and stuff. And I could talk about, the redhead works at the bank, worked with her husband for 5 years. Can't remember the name for nothing, but it's all coming back now. And even to the point where I can actually almost correct her now. I know I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't, but you do sometimes, right? Slips out. But so I'm getting the mental clarity. I just recently started a new job this week, and I have an open knife right here, and that's just for props. And this knife was used for opening boxes. Now it's all closed up, it's all safe. And you know, I'm not worried about anything anymore. And even with this new job, and I had to fight IT problems today. Computer wouldn't do what it was supposed to do. But I didn't lose my mind. I didn't get angry, really. I mean, I got a little miffed at one point, but I handled it. I think I'm handling stress a little better. I like this. I think this is great. I like not being on fire, unless you want to say I'm on fire for carnivore. And you'll need a fire if you're going to be carnivore because you want to cook that meat up. But other than that, everything seems to be going really, really well. And I just thought I'd share that with you. Probably going to have to do some editing to here. Got a couple editing tips. Not so sure I'm going to do everything people said, but I'll probably try to do something. So, all right, I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate you spending time. If you're still here, if you could press the like button, if you could leave a comment, let people know that you watched it and what your thoughts are. If you have some feedback for me about what dairy did in your life or something that you've discovered in your life that has really caused you to be on fire, leave that down in the comments. Let me know. I try to answer and respond to all the comments. I really do. I think it's really important. And I appreciate you spending time here, joining me in this journey. I look forward to seeing many of you out there in a live. Someone is out there doing a live somewhere. And I'm going to drop in and I'll probably spam a lot of comments in there. But the idea here is, when we comment on people's lives and we press the like button, and when we do things that interact with them, that really helps out a YouTuber. Matter of fact, I've even been listening to the commercials, because if I can listen to them, I can listen to the 15-second commercial, and I think that helps that YouTuber. Now, I'm not monetized yet, but for all those who are out there, the Carnivore Kips and Homestead How, and just so many great carnivores out there. For Who's Your Carnivore? And I mean, if I started to list them, I'd be in here for another 10 minutes. But if you're going to watch their videos, like it, comment, and listen to some of the commercials. Don't fast forward through them. That'll help them out. And that's what we're all about. And also, I'm not sure if Bill Knott's watching, but I want to, again, shout him out. And I want to shout him out publicly. He had this issue a couple months ago with the lymphedema, and he got the vibration plate, and he's a sponsor for that, and that is awesome, Bill. I know you got some negative comments about that. You're not selling out. You're carrying the message forward. And if you can get sponsorships, and those sponsorships help you to get your message out farther, then that's a good thing. We should all want this message to get out as far as we can. So good on you, Bill. But my dad got one of those. Well, actually, I bought my dad one of those vibration plates. My dad is 89. He'll be 90 years old this Christmas. And he had a little accident a couple years ago. And right before the accident, before he broke a foot, he was walking 7 miles a day as a security guard. Active fella. Getting around good. Well, he got sedentary, got some rust, stopped moving. And that can be a precipitous cascade of events. I saw Bill talking about this vibration plate, and I went ahead and I thought, I want to see if I can get one of those for Dad. I got one for Dad. I got the smaller one. And my father uses that every day. He's up to 3 15-minute sessions a day, and it's making him get stronger. My sister, who takes care of him, says he's stronger. He loves to get up and go for his walk that goes nowhere. And he'll even just do it sitting in a chair and put his feet on the vibration plate and then lean forward with his elbows on his knees, and it vibrates, and he gets a little bit of exercise for the rest of his body, because he's not going to stand up freehand on that. Bill, that might be a suggestion. I wonder if Life Pro could, or whoever it is, the vibration plate people, can put an accessory balancing bar, so you can kind of lean on it if you're infirmed or elderly. Anyway, my dad loves it. It's working really good for him to get the edema out, because your lymphatic system won't move. If you don't move, it won't move. There you go, the vibration plate, and that's really helping him. So, Bill, thank you so much. Thank you for being strong. Thank you for being bold, and thank you for I don't know if I should say thank you, but I should say I'm proud of you for your courage to keep moving forward, not just in your personal storms, not just in the storms that Alaska throws at you, but in the storms that other people put up in your way, those who would be a stumbling block to you. Thank you for being courageous and moving forward on that. I really appreciate it. With that, I'm going to let you all go. I appreciate you coming in and spending some time with me. I'll try to make another video, maybe not about toe jam, but to let you know how things are going and how I'm progressing in this. Until then, take care now and God bless. Bye-bye.